right.
There's the music.
Let us dive into our next episode. But before we do, maybe a real quick recap from, in the words of the players, real quick recap of what happened last session.
We killed some dirty scoundrels.
A bunch of them.
It's true.
On a hilltop.
Indeed. Fortified hill. Yes, you did.
Yep.
Which was fantastic.
And our stepbrother and our sister got injured.
They did.
Yes.
They did, in fact.
That was not so fantastic. Also, I had to leave Fluffy tied to a tree the whole time, so that was also subpar.
Also subpar. Fight as a knight, or not a knight. Fight as a mounted, someone who's intended to be mounted, and you can't even be mounted. Right?
Next time I'm climbing on Paul.
Phrasing.
That would have been awesome. Like, Paul, get over here quickly.
I've got the great spear. Paul's just gonna charge me in like a joust.
Perfect.
Love it. Love it.
He is a big boy.
All right,
True.
so your entourage now as you go into the city is Kian, Gwyn, and Corin. Are you bringing Madog and Darren with you?
Yeah. What do you say? I'll put it to you guys.
Yeah, and like if the stepbrother's well enough, he can come too.
He is a bit wounded, so I believe he was going to go back with Aaron when.
Yeah. I couldn't remember how bad he was.
Oh, right.
Yeah. They both got knocked out effectively, knocked out of fight. In L5R speak, equivalent of that. All right. Anything you want to do before heading into the city, or should we just dive right in?
I pull out my map and make note of every brothel type establishment known in the city.
Yeah, if there's like a
Plan my route
roadhouse
accordingly.
If there's like a roadhouse at the edge of the city or something like that, we should probably get cleaned up.
Yeah. I let
Definitely need to
Corin
fix
know
my hair.
I'll be needing a copy of that map you make.
Yep.
Folklore, all
Need
of
to
you.
fix my hair. Folklore.
You can add a +5.
Folklore +5?
Mm-hmm.
That's a success.
Mine
Dave
is the
fumbled.
opposite. Yes.
So for I'm gonna just get the names right. For Gwyn, you know that there are baths, like a bathhouse in Cornovium. Like, so you're talking about getting cleaned up. Like that would be.
Yeah, I'll say that.
You know, hot. Basically, there's a hot room, there's a warm room, and then there's a cold room. So it's like, it's a pretty like extravagant thing for this era and lifestyle to be able to visit the bath.
I'll mention that to Cian, the Kyan, when he says, we need to get cleaned up. I'll say, hey, there's the bathhouse in Cornovia. I've heard it's amazing.
I'm in.
Well, that'll do then, won't it?
All right.
Have to look good for the ladies.
Absolutely.
Okay. So off to the. I'll just give you like a little bit of context for what this might look like. So, picture a place that is very beautiful but very historic. Its ability to be upkept is not, or kept up to date, is lacking. So it definitely looks like a city of the past. The cobblestone roads, though, rather in place. The one thing the Romans kept for a damn long time, it's the roads. So even the streets themselves of this place, filled with cobblestone, are pretty miraculous. And the rest I'll give to Flint. So like maybe Gwyn spent more time here than the other two for whatever reason. You know that the center of town, like the square, is the forum. It's surrounded by a lot of public buildings and shops. There's the baths. There is a temple. Of course, that's the temple's more or less just. Well, it's like more like a historical piece, right? No one owes any sort of worship to the ancient Roman gods, right? They're all Roman Christians now. So the temple is like not far from the temple is probably actually like a Roman church, which is not quite Catholic at this time. It's basically the early version of that. Amphitheater, so there's a large open air theater, again not really used all that often, and I'm not talking about like some great gladiatorial thing. This would be something pretty small for an amphitheater. There is the basilica for the public gatherings, but that is where you're going to feast, by the way. There's a market, and then of course there's the houses, which are kind of ranging from simple one-room structures to large, more elaborate homes. Well, it's kind of in ruins in the 5th century. Its layout and structures still provide a sense of like grandeur and sophistication that you just don't. I mean, it's pretty different than the way you guys live, right? There'd probably be a sense of like bit of, you know what? I'm gonna get you all to test worldly for me.
What are we testing? Sorry.
Worldly.
Worldly.
Or on the sheet, it's worldly because someone typoed on it.
Excellent.
I'm wordly.
Oh, there we go. Wordly.
Okay.
You know, I didn't even notice that for like months and months of playing this game until someone pointed it out. Just because my brain was like replacing the two letters.
Corrected it, yeah.
I'm so worldly.
Or rather, it wasn't replacing; it was adding an L. All right, so that makes a lot of sense. I think I'll give you a choice here. So worldly kind of represents like you're not as into the spiritual, you know, it's more like what you can see in front of you. And a lot of that does come into maybe indulgence and such. Those who fail or succeed at worldly, you can either tick worldly or you can choose to tick like indulgent if you'd rather. Indulgent would represent like you're just more prone to go after the booze or any other
ladies.
It's about having fun.
Okay.
Not as much lustful, right? But it's about indulging in what you do. Yeah.
Okay.
Which usually leads to the ladies for a lot of these scenarios. So.
And only if you succeeded, Bob?
Only if you succeeded. If you failed it, then it's not a pressure. So both Paul and Dave get to decide how you wish to approach it.
I am indulgent.
Okay.
Also, I'm sitting high on my horse as we ride into town, and just like every lady I see, just like the biggest, brightest smile that I turn the flirt on the way in.
Right.
I love seeing this many ladies all in one place. So
the thing about
I'm picturing like this night at the Roxbury, like what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up? No, pace yourself. What's up? 2, 3. What's up? 2, 3.
That's awesome.
I'm picturing that too now. Thanks. So, one sec. Just making sure that wasn't something important. So as you pass through, like one thing you would note, especially Dave, is I think all three of you might, is the way that the Roman women dress and the way that they keep themselves is just finer typically than your standard Cymric women. Even the common folk, the common women folk, and men for that matter, their appeal is just higher. Like they spend more time in grooming and upkeep, and it kind of shows. Whether you're into that or not is another thing. But
I found my people.
yeah, I was thinking about that a little bit. Like Corin, probably there's something about Corin where he probably would. It's like the country bumpkin that like always wished he was a city kid. That's kind of Corin to me. Yeah. Okay, so as you're making your way to the bathhouse, is that the plan?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gotta look our best and smell our best.
Okay. Now, as you get in, there's an older man that greets you and says, "Hell."
Wrong bathhouse.
Yeah.
We don't serve your kind here.
He says, "If you wish to partake in the baths, you are welcome, travelers. You must know that we follow good Christian manners here. The men and the women are separate."
I keep my scoffing to a minimum audible level.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like, and then I'm just gonna look at you guys. If we're still good to go, we will. But if not, I'll be like,
Very
Still
well,
one-
Uncle.
Still want to get cleaned up, I guess.
Call him Uncle, right? All right, so do you want to go to so there's options. There's the frigid, the warm, or the hot bath. What way the three
Hot.
you want to go?
I'm going hot. Frigid doesn't show off my best qualities.
There we go. And Paul, are you
Bridget
gonna
doesn't
tag?
show off any of his qualities.
Are you tagging along with them?
I'll start frigid.
Okay. You gonna do the cold bath and then the hot bath kind of thing?
Yeah.
All right. Give me so for those in the hot bath, give me a D6 roll. Okay. Just gonna do this. That makes sense. Okay. So while you're in the hot bath, you notice that there are a couple of other folk here. They are not Romans in the hot bath. Both of them look like they're ordained with. I guess it wouldn't be because they're in the bath. They're not ordained with anything. But they have their clothes to the side, and you can tell that these would be like finer clothing of your peoples, of the Cymric.
Oh, like Cymric, not royalty, but like people with some sort of status. Then,
Yeah.
Is that kind of what we can assume.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's two of them. There's an older man, looks like he's in his 60s. Definitely like a pretty gruff build. Beard about down to his upper chest. Seems to be well looked after though, the beard. And beside him looks like a man that shouldn't be as dirty as he is, being in the water. Definitely
awesome.
a gruffer look. Definitely the eyes of like a killer. The eyes of someone who has seen war. And the two of them are just they're close in proximity, but they're not interacting with each other. They're just both like resting. So that would be for both Gwyn and Corin are here for this.
do they seem to be kind of like just introspective mostly, just kind of sitting there? Are they looking around? Or they're not talking at all? Are they?
Yeah, I'll give you guys a couple of options here. You
Sure.
can you can take a recognize roll if you want to actually know who they are. You
Yeah.
can take an intrigue roll instead if you want to just more pay attention to their mannerisms and see what they're up to.
I'm gonna maybe do intrigue, Bob.
Okay,
I'll try and recognize them. I'm terrible at both of these things, so.
might as well then. It's like, nope, don't know them. Love it. Yeah.
Wait,
Okay.
where do these guys come from?
Yeah, yeah. So with a pass for Gwyn, I think what you recognize about the two of them is their interactions to be that close to each other, and probably recognizes that they're familiar with each other. Like they're probably either family or friends, something of the sort, right? But there's a proximity where they're only a couple feet apart, and that's not something you do with unknown people. You probably naturally sit
In the
on the
bath?
opposite
Yeah.
side.
Yeah.
Well, different times, but yeah, fair enough. They also look like they're resting. So they seem, despite them being Cymric, they seem to be like rather comfortable with the scenario. They're probably not as like out of the water as you guys are here. They're used to this place. They've visited it before. I think that's what you get.
Okay, yeah. Huh. Can we do a recognize? Can I do one after my intrigue, Bob, or no?
No.
Okay.
No. I think it's just assumed you don't recognize them in that case.
Sure.
Yeah. What are the two you doing? Are you just kind of getting into the water?
Yeah, I think so. I think we're
Yeah,
just gonna get comfortable. Like we are here to kind of clean up, so I think just like casket hand sort of thing, and then just sit.
Yep.
All right.
Maybe watch.
Get warm.
I'm gonna
get
like
clean.
because I succeeded in my intrigue.
off
I'm
the
just gonna
road.
continue to watch them.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna start humming to myself one of the songs of our people or family, or one of those kind of things that would be common to our group or whatever, because I like to sing.
I just said, why don't you give me a sing roll, Dave?
All right, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Come on, Dave. Come on.
The
Let's see it.
acoustics in here are glorious.
They're amazing.
Oh yeah, baby.
Yeah, buddy.
All right, and then
All right, you want to get high?
we'll get high. All right, and then okay. So at different times, the two of them kind of both open their eyes and look over at the two of you, and then they kind of go back to resting, because you're probably a safe distance away from them, so they're not threatened in any way. But once Corin finishes his song, the older man, his eyes still close. He just speaks up, but he doesn't move. His head's still tilted back. He says, I recognize that song. It's Philip's song, if I recall. Philip is your, Dave, that is your grandfather. That was your house. Like,
Okay, yeah.
your mother's house, right?
Yeah. Yes, friend, that is the song of my grandfather and our house.
I see.
I'm Corin of House Philip, and who might you be?
He says, I'm Kiladir of the house of the same name. So it's his house.
Oh, okay.
And with that, I will give you guys either folklore or recognize, your choice. You can add +5 to it.
Folklore or recognize
Yeah.
with a 5. Success.
All right. You can tick that because it's normally, both of you are normally under a 5, so you can both tick that. Tick recognize. So you know House of Killadir is effectively like the house that so there are 5 great houses. This is one of them.
Oh, drink.
And you both recognize this house is the house that kind of runs the lands around this city. So they don't run Viraconium. That's run by like the main house, the mainstay house. This House of Killadir, they run like the wilderlands around the city. They'd be considered the central house. You guys are from the houses to the east. There are houses to the mountains, which are to the west. And then there's the central houses, which basically consist of House Killadir, which run the wilderlands, and House Ovidius, who you all know, which are the Roman seat of your people. So there are some people of yours, right? Like your people intermingled with the Romans ages ago. The ones who are like the equivalent of like the kings or the royalty of this setting for your tribe, they're based out of this city, and that's who you're to meet with today. Let me know if that was confusing. I realize that's a lot. I can kind of break it down into a better way if that was difficult to understand, because I think it's important for the ongoing part of this game.
Yeah, do you want to... Sorry, Bob.
Yeah. Yep. So...
It was definitely a little confusing.
Yeah. I can repackage that in a better way. So there's your people, your tribe, the Cornovii. They intermingled with the Romans long ago, but there are those that kind of remained identifying as Cymric, and then there are those that sort of settled in the city and became more Roman in culture. Following me so far?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
There are the Western houses. And there's 2 great houses of the Western houses that kind of dwell in and around the mountains. They're kind of the houses of the mountain folk. There's the Eastern houses, which includes both or like all of your houses, right, are from the east. And then there's the Central houses, which involves this city and the wilderland around it. This guy in front of you, this old man, is like one of the main house like leaders. He runs the central house of the wilderlands around the city.
Wow.
Easier to wrap your head around a little?
Yeah.
Okay. And this is my nephew, male. And he just looks up. This is the guy. You realize, like, as he kind of sits up, he's got to be like 6'5", 6'6". He's a big guy.
Wow.
He just nods to the 3 of you.
Well met.
I'll nod to him too.
I'm not there.
You're not. We're gonna go to you in a second, Paul.
Oh, that's true. You're not.
Don't worry. We'll be right to you.
Don't worry. Don't worry.
Do the
You
two
just
you
said
want?
the 3 of us, so I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, no. Just for the summary of the houses, I wanted all 3 of you to be. Oh, I said he nods to all 3. He nods to the 2 of you. Oh, sorry. This is my bad. I think they're both gonna go quiet at that. They don't have anything extra to say unless you want to prompt them at all.
And Bob, have we ever been to this city, or we've just heard stories and?
I think it's up to you, Dave. I mean, you're literally from like a forest offshoot branch. Maybe you've never been here. Maybe you've never had the opportunity. I think we've established that Gwyn has.
Right.
Probably when he was younger, though. So, like, you know, this might be your first adult experience here. Very different scenario.
Yeah, we'll say I haven't been to the city, but I've heard stories, and I'm keen.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe while that's happening, if you think of something, we can always bounce back for a second. But we'll go to Paul. Why don't you give me a D6, Paul? Let's see what Kian's comes into. Okay. Ooh, interesting. All right. So you when you enter the bathhouse, there is one man. He seems to be humming to himself. He looks like he's in his like early 20s, maybe. You can see like his garb is all shoved to the side. It is very traditional Roman garb. Like you wouldn't typically see that kind of garb on even your Roman peoples here. Like it's very Roman. Traditional garments you might have seen from maybe hundreds of years ago, kind of thing.
Okay.
And he's clean shaven. Just not really. If you were to pick a stereotypical Roman-looking guy out of a crowd, you would probably pick this guy. He doesn't seem to have a care in the world. He's just humming to himself with his eyes back, trying to fight off the feeling of his body going numb in the plunge pool.
Okay. I'm just gonna go into the plunge pool.
Okay.
Unflinchingly.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
He his eyes open. He looks up, and I think he sees Kian, right? Who looks more like a noble barbarian than anything like he's accustomed to, right? And he kind of winces and says, "Oh," in a thick accent. He says, "I didn't see you there. I'm sorry."
Kind of hard to miss.
I was just
It's okay,
relaxing.
friend. It's okay, friend.
And every last inch of
Covered with hair.
You must forgive me. I've been on the road for some time. His Cymric is very busted. Not very clear, very broken.
Okay.
And
Where
then
are you from, if I may ask?
his eyes light up. You may, in fact. I hail from Rome.
Ah, I see.
You get the when you just say I see, it's like there's a sort of a pride hit today. It says, no, not just the empire, the city itself. Like he deserves some kind of cookie for that.
Ah, very nice, very nice.
And
Like
you
he deserves a cookie.
Is this your home?
This land? Yes.
Ah, then you're Cornovii.
Correct.
I see. Well, friend, I will see you at the feast. Paul, you can make an intrigue roll while you're at it.
Okay.
Okay. Perfect. So he gets up and out, and we'll kind of move forward to, I think, the point where
I rejoined the hot room.
Yeah, you rejoin the hot room, and I think if it makes sense, I think we'll have Killdeer and Mail kind of, they're walking out as you were walking in the hot room. the hot bath. They just nod your way.
I'll nod back.
The two of them continue on. All right. And we'll leave the three of you who are alone. If you guys want to chat at all, you can.
Join us, cousin. Warm your bones.
Join us. Come on in, cuz.
Well, the water was nice in the other room. There was a Roman in there. I had the feeling he wanted to talk, but I just wanted to have a moment of silence. Although I did hear some singing down the hall. Was that you?
The acoustics in here, excellent. Excellent.
I couldn't tell if it was my cousin or a young eunuch.
Praise indeed. High praise.
Give me a proud test, Dave.
Proud test. All right.
Ooh, bruised ego.
Oh. If I knew what a Wookiee was back then, I'd say something like.
You know what a bear looks like.
And I'd make some quip about being a large hairy man getting into the tub with us. I don't know. I got nothing.
A hairy giant.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you guys, if you guys are comfortable, we can move forward to the feast. Just so we can...
Yeah, sure.
All right, give me a sec, and I will get y'all cut over here.
After the bath, I spend some time like making myself immaculate and fixing my hair and
anointing yourself with oils.
Yeah, I am.
Essential oils.
I'm putting it all on. Yeah.
Murder.
Okay, so I'm gonna move you over to a map, and then I'm gonna get you guys to drag your tokens out while I drag a few of them out as well. There you go. Should be able to drag your tokens out from your sheets onto the feast page.
Okay. From our character sheets?
Yes. You might be able to just drag your sheet, like without opening it up, just like drag from the PC section over onto the map, and it should work, I think. Let me know if it doesn't. I'll see if I can.
It's not dropping. I can pull it off, but the second I let go, it just disappears.
Okay, hold on.
This,
there we go. I'm doing it for you guys. There you go. Can you guys move yourselves around? Do you have control of your...
oh, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay. I'll explain feasts in a second, but I want to get a few...
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Stuff. So, this is a very full... like, the table is... Or the feast room is very full, so it's not empty like this. There are a number of ladies here and a number of noblemen. Some Romans. All 5 of the main houses are represented. Because you've met Killdeer, I'll just show you what he looks like. And feel free to zoom in. That's Killdeer. And
He's intense.
He's very intense.
No, we're in a hall.
And that's male. It's the big guy that was with him.
Really intense.
There is also a... Again, there's lots of ladies. This is one of the ladies that's with them. Correction, I'll do that. There we go. I knew Dave would do that somehow. And then there's an older gentleman as well.
Oh, if she's with him, I might stay over here. I don't
Okay, and then I'm just populating their table, and then I'll do the others as we go. But picture a number of noblemen, some Cymric, some dressed in Roman garb, are present. I will do the main Roman house because I think that part's important for this. So, these are people you all know because you know the House of Ovidius. So there's Ovidius Cornovii, who's taken over. He's a younger Roman. He is basically the head of the Cornovii, the head of the Roman sort of branch of the Cornovii. He rules the city after his father, and along with him, his mother Bellatrix. And lastly, for him, his sister Krista. Sorry, correction. That's his wife, Krista.
His wife?
Yeah, he's married. His mother, Bellatrix. And then his brother is also here, Hyginus. And Hyginus' wife, Hannah. All right, and I will resize those as we go, but for now, you get the point. So let's go over feasts. Feasts are pretty cool, unique addition to Pendragon. One of the more fun parts because they've made it into like a little mini game, so it's actually like amusing to play through.
Very cool.
The first thing you're gonna do is you're all going to make an appearance roll. This appearance, this appearance roll will determine kind of where you're welcome to seat. Obviously, the closer you are to being above the salt, sort of the higher ranking you are. I will give Kian the choice to add a +10 to his appearance if you want. If you end up above the salt, you don't get to pull from feast deck cards, so your options are more limited. It kind of represents you being up at the main table with the other nobles.
Okay.
Only because you represent the main line of one of the great 5 houses.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll take the bonus.
Okay. Go ahead and give me an app and then add a +10 modifier to it. The other two, you just give me your flat appearance roll. Okay.
Just flat appearance, Bob?
Yep.
Okay. Sorry. I was making room for the map, so I took my sheet. Where am I? Hold on.
Ooh, crit.
Nice.
Interesting.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Awesome.
My first one.
So this
Sweet.
it's both a good and a bad thing.
Oh, fantastic. Kind of like my life.
Yeah. So first thing, make sure you mark 14 glory on your sheet for glory this game. If you already have glory in there, just add 14 to what you already have. I don't think I gave out glory before.
Glory this game, no, 0. So 14.
Yeah. Is your credit on that? Okay, so
Got it.
here's what this would normally look like. So Paul didn't crit, though he was close. He would end up near the salt. So would both Kian and both Kian and Corin end up near the salt. We got to figure out why Gwyn gets welcome to above the salt. Can we come up with a reason? Like, maybe it's not it's not that every sort of main representative is welcome, but it's more like the
He took my
Mostly-
grooming tips to heart.
mostly the Romans.
Bellatrix finds him pretty.
Yep.
I was
I
just
didn't-
gonna say, would that be a thing, Bob? Like, would they just pick someone to come, like come here, basically?
You do represent the main house, but I think it would be someone who would have a reason or a motive to maybe welcome you up. And as I've established, both the Roman, like both the brother and the main Roman guy are married. Like their wives, you know, they have wives, so those aren't women that would be available. per
Yeah.
se.
Yeah.
You know what it is? I got one. let me
Dude.
just- Let me just see here. Okay, slight correction on this. That's why. I thought there was one. So, Hannah here is not Hyginus's wife. I thought they had a sister. Hannah is their sister. So the main Roman line is mother, right? Lead brother, second brother, and then sister. So these two are a unit up here. This is a brother here. This is a sister, and this is mom. And so just as you're getting situated, Hyginus actually comes over, the younger brother. He says, "Excuse me."
Yes,
You are Gwyn of House Cian, yes?
I am. And you are?
He looks offended. He says, I'm Ovidius' brother, Hyginus. My sister, Hannah, has asked that you accompany us.
Well, I would be happy to.
All right. Well, Flint, no big deal. You're just in the hot seat for this, so let's see how you do.
Let's do it.
So above the salt, you have one less option, but here are your typical options for a feast. So this is kind of like a bit like a party. You know, you get to do what you want. When you're above the salt, you're collecting more geniality, which is turns into glory. So it's useful, right?
Yeah.
But you are not able to pull from cards while you're
Oh.
yeah. So
Well, that's disappointing.
yeah, I know.
Wait a minute. I'm going to stop and go. I'm not coming with you or your sister. Fuck
Right.
off.
You can choose there is a mechanic if you wish to give up your seat so you can sit with your brother and whatever. You simply have to make a roll, and if you don't completely botch it, it goes well. Do you want to give up your seat so you can sit with the other two? Like, do you want to pass on it?
I don't know, Bob. I guess because I don't know enough. Like, I want to have like a pretty rich experience, but I don't want to miss out with the other guys, like on the same breath. So,
You'll have
I
a
don't
lot
know.
more. I mean, what your character would know is you're going to have a lot more of a political experience up there, right? But there's also an opportunity for maybe a romance or maybe a fling, depending on what you're after, right?
all right. Flings always interest me. So.
Okay. So here are your options. So typically you could pull cards, but you can't because of where you're sitting. The other options are you can feast, which is like either being indulgent, you know, being a great guest by like either eating all the food and partaking the wine and celebrating with them, or doing the opposite, which is like temperance, which is I'm going to make sure everyone else is looked after and fed and drinks. That's a tick on either indulgent or temperate if you do that kind of action. There's intrigue, which allows you to play like the political game. That's gossiping, stuff like that. You can do that kind of.
That does
action,
interest me.
right?
The intrigue piece. Yeah.
There's flirting, which can lead to kind of a romance or a lustful encounter and potentially an illegitimate heir of some kind. That's an option. There's gaming, which is
6.
yeah. There's gaming, which is literally probably not the thing you'd want to do. You know, you go over with probably a number of the nobles that are just having a good time. It's like, imagine like you know, you're at a party and someone's playing magic cards over in the corner. That's probably what that's like.
Like at our
yeah, exactly. Yep.
with the black clover. Yeah, that was funny.
So there's that option, and that's really about it. Then there's the cards, which you can't do.
Okay. Sure, I'll stay here. Like, I'm like, my character would probably be like, when's this gonna happen again, right? So.
Okay. All right. So what are you doing, though?
I think intrigue.
Okay.
I'll say to him, there will be other times to play games with me, brother. This is a good opportunity.
Ah yes. As always, wiser than I am, and I'll pat you on the shoulder.
It's because I'm so big. There's room for a lot of wisdom in here.
Indeed.
I just give you a sly look and then kind of nod over to Hannah or whatever her name was.
Yeah. All right. So, you any particular topic, Flint, or just kind of seeing what the gossip is?
Yeah, just like he's fairly new to this, like, but I do. The more I kind of get a handle on this guy, like I think that's going to be one of his things is intrigue, that whole like wanting to get like figure out what's going on, like that kind of stuff is going to be his big deal.
Okay, give me an intrigue test.
Sure, put me on the spot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No pressure.
Yeah, no kidding.
Like I'm not like big into the intrigue yet. I just want to get there.
Not yet, Bob. Yeah,
So-
success.
So I think what this is this is a lot of you like being close enough, and you're making small talk with Hannah, but you're paying attention to the whispers at the other end of the table, and and you can hear the two brothers talking, and Hygienist says, "Has he arrived yet? Do we know when he's coming? I don't see him." And Ovidius says, "The messenger has come. We hear that he arrived in our city yesterday. He should be here soon. I hope." And the other brother says, "But I don't understand. Why would you be late to this kind of feast? Isn't it correct to be punctual? We've prepared all of this, and he has news for us, after all. We want to know what comes from Rome, yes? So we can react. If it's going to be some time before they can send reinforcements, we need to prepare in a certain way." And Ovidius just kind of yawns. Yeah,
Yawns.
I think you're right, but he'll get here when he gets here, I suppose.
Interesting.
All right. And then Ovidius's wife, Krista, she looks over to him and says, "My endearing husband, do you think perhaps that he's delaying on purpose? Making sure that we're comfortable before we hear bad news?" And Ovidius just kind of waves her off and says, "I'm not concerned. Rome has never failed us. Why would they fail us now?" All right, and with that, we're gonna go. Flint, you get 2 geniality, which are represented in these coins. So I'll flip these here for now. And your end geniality. Geniality can also serve as bonuses to other courtly rolls. So before you roll anything, let me know, and it can actually serve as a modifier. It also translates into glory at the end of a feast.
Oh, okay.
So we'll go to Paul next. What do you want to do out of those options, including feast deck? You have the option for feast deck as well.
Yeah, feast for now.
Okay. There'll be cards that say a knight. Whenever it says a knight or whatever, there might be some translations because we're not playing in an era with knights right now. But we'll see. You're gonna do a feast deck card? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Oh, gossip. So you overhear some interesting conversation. You can't, like, you have to keep this card if you, so I think, well, you test intrigue first. That's what we're doing. So let's start with the intrigue test. Yeah, okay. I think your turn just flies by as there's some gossip, but you're just not concerned with it, and you kind of move on past it. You didn't fumble, so there's no minus geniality, and you simply get 1 geniality as a couple of the other Roman nobles begin to talk around you. You grow bored with their whispers, and you kind of move past them. And I'll throw them on the table, so it's you end up seating with this person. Sec. These 3, and while you're kind of interacting, they're discussing in whispers, and none of these folk, by the way, are the ones that the guy you met in the cold bath.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So there's your 1 geniality. Dave, you are up. What do you want to do?
I am absolutely flirting. I have surrounded myself with as many lovely ladies as I possibly can.
Okay.
Took the chair in between all of them, if possible. And I'm just flashing smiles and chatting it up and telling stories.
All right. Give me a flirting roll.
All right, here we go.
Come on, Dave.
Oh!
Oh.
No.
Oh, so sad.
It wasn't quite a fumble, so we don't get a Todd moment out of the Todd moment out of Corey.
The Todd
Let's just
moment.
get out of the way. Yes. No, and maybe if I was drunk.
Pinching you to a yes because you're feisty.
So sad.
I think there's a couple of them, and there's one that's giving you like playful eyes, and and she's a Roman lady, and so you lay it on like harder with her, and she just says, "Good sir, I am married, but thank you." And you notice that the other girls around like lose interest as a result of because you tried to lock in with her and she denied you, so they move on as well. So you picked the wrong one out of the group.
I'm nothing if not persistent.
Yeah. All right. That's a geniality. So we'll go to the top of the next round. Back to Flint. What do you want to do? You can choose the same action if you want to continue. You can
I think I'm gonna continue. I'm interested in. I like this. I like this kind of conversation, so I think I'm just gonna continue.
kind of eavesdropping a bit more? Is that still your approach to it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, go ahead and give me another test. You can add +2 to this one. Oh, but still.
That's not going to matter.
Okay. So I think it's just would be interesting is I think Hannah says something to you and you were trying to totally pay attention to the whispers, and you look back and you're like,
yeah.
and she repeats herself, and they all look over to you with a little bit of suspicion, and their conversation changes to boring day-to-day gossip.
Right. Okay.
But you still get 2 geniality for that. So, and by the way, when you passed intrigue earlier, you got to tick it. I don't know if you did. But you have it ticked now.
Okay. And 2 more genealogy. Do I record these genealogy, Bob? Somewhere?
I'm putting them on the map as coins, but yeah, they turn into
okay.
at the end of the feast, because you can lose them potentially too. We just turn them into ×10, and they turn into glory.
Okay.
But they also, next time you roll the intrigue, that would be a +4, right? Like that kind of idea. If you were to roll anything courtly, it turns into extra, like added bonuses. So we'll go to Paul next. You're up, good sir.
I'm gonna switch to gaming.
All right. Do you want to challenge anyone in particular? Any of the great houses or anything like that?
Slytherin.
Slytherin.
Maybe I'll just see if anyone else is doing anything, and I'll try and jump in on their game.
Okay. Understood.
Do you just need me to do a gaming roll?
Yeah, I'm gonna do this because I think it's kind of amusing. There is a couple of people with their backs turned as you go to join their game. You see a couple of them playing at a table. One's an older gentleman, and one is a auburn-haired, almost ginger-colored haired woman with kind of strange eyes and a bit of strange garb.
Run, brother, run.
Right? Let me see what they're playing. One sec. Just gonna check something. Just gonna test it. They are playing Roman tabula, backgammon. And at this point, he rises and he says, you got me. And her eyes just kind of look up to you. It's kind of weird, like it's off-putting because she just looks to you like she always knew you were there. Like, it's kind of like, she says, would you like to join me, Kian?
Yes, I think that would be fun. I don't believe we've met.
I'm Katrin of House Bryn. Give me a recognized roll +10.
Atlin of House Stock.
Katrin. Close. Okay. House Bryn are they're the main Western house, the strongest Western house. They're known specifically for their women that seem to possess an affinity with the old gods and magic, very pagan. Katrin is famous as an enchantress. She is
Sweet.
very powerful in magic.
Cool.
Man, you guys have all the fun.
You're next, Dave. You're next. All right. So with that, she says, "Please have a seat."
I will gladly sit down.
Are you bored yet?
That's great.
I only just got here.
He shrugs. Didn't take me along with all these Roman politics.
I assume it's going to get better the longer we're here. Maybe?
Perhaps with wine. So with that, why don't we do a gaming test here? Let's see how this goes. Ooh, you passed. She failed.
Beginner's luck. Beginner's luck.
She smiles. Didn't seem like you were unskilled. Seems you've had some practice in games.
From time to time,
She
when the needs of the house don't take all my time.
The woes of a leader. Something I hope to avoid. She smiles. Next time, then.
Would you like to play another?
She'll shrug. Say, sure. All right, and we'll kind of move from the scene from there. Probably can get a geniality plus you tick gaming for being successful there. All right, and then we're on to Dave. Corin, you're up for round 2.
All right, round 2 of flirting. Let's do it.
Come on,
I'm
buddy.
used to being the big fish in the pond, and now I'm like
You realize how big that pond is now.
it's a very big pond now, so
Yeah.
I'm finding my footing, but I am persistent.
All right.
It's been 3 days since my last lass.
In 3 days. It's like a confessional.
I don't
In
have a
3
problem. You
days.
have a problem.
All
love
right,
it.
go ahead and give me your flirting roll.
There we go.
Are you in seeking a Roman or a Cymric to befriend?
The Romans kind of have intrigued me just because it's different.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. You end up talking to Emilia. She's a minor. Like, you find out her father's like one of the branch families of the Roman from the city. And she's very playful and flirtatious back. So you can tick flirting.
Excellent.
I think it would be a what is your lustful?
Oh,
It's
it's lustful.
Not high enough.
It's 16.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right.
That's what I'm known for. This
Yeah.
is my famous quality.
Okay. Safe to say that the two of you maybe depart the feast.
Excellent.
All right. So we'll do that. We're gonna pull you off the board here for a sec. It'll be amusing that you're gone for this next piece. Okay. So at this point, a particular person enters, and I think, like, right away, Paul, you recognize him as the guy from the bathhouse.
Mm-hmm.
For you, Flint, you see the chatter kind of go to a dull silence, like almost like everyone at the high table starts to hold their breath a little bit as he enters.
As who enters? Sorry.
The new Roman.
Oh, the new Roman, right?
Right in the center.
And we'll continue with the final round of the feast. It's your action, Flint. What do you want to do?
Now that he's here, I'm definitely gonna like pay more attention. So I don't know if I can do another intrigue,
Yep.
but it's definitely something that I would want to do at this point.
Yeah. I think it's more a matter of, I think they're gonna whisper, so I think it'd be interesting if you tested awareness, and I'll let you use your +4 to the +4 bonus for this.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, let's do that then. So test awareness with 4. Holy
almost
shit, I
almost a
just
crit.
barely.
Nice.
Yeah, if you got a 19, that would have been a crit. Okay.
I know that would have been awesome.
All right. So you hear them whispering, and they're like, "There he is. Well, he's come all this way from Rome. You better have something good to tell us." And Hannah's beside you, and Hannah starts like talking too, and she says, "Hopefully, good news. We've had so much trouble with the raiding. This land's
Yes,
been in
I'm sure.
turmoil."
I'm sure it will be. I'll just kind of go along.
Yeah. So the main guy, for the first time, his yawns kind of go away, and he sort of like leans forward. He's half cut, in his drink. He's not the type of guy, like, meeting Ovidius for the first time here, you realize how weak of a leader he would be if it really mattered. If he had more than just if he was more than just a mouthpiece, right? And it's at that point we will move to Paul for your action. But you've got 6, which is really good. 6 geniality. That will transfer to 60 glory for this. So
Nice.
and Dave, you did get 2, by the way. 'Cause you
Yeah,
did.
excellent.
I'll play another game.
Okay.
So if you find this so tiresome, what brings you here?
Bryn demanded that we travel, and so I came.
Ah, yes. I understand that.
Such is the way. You know that her family too, like the mountain folk especially, they're like the most kind of like crude and isolated out of the groups. They're kind of known to be the most, they have a reputation for being the most barbaric, right?
Okay.
Why don't you give me another gaming test, Paul? Ooh, hard fumble.
Le fumble.
And then we established that she had what, like a 7? Yep. Oh, she almost did as bad as you. I think it's just like a game where it takes like 3 times as long as it ought to, and not on purpose, and you both kind of just grow tired of it. Her eyes kind of turn to the Roman as he passes, and she just kind of shrugs it off. As the feast kind of comes to a bit of a close, or at least attention turns to the Roman messenger, Ovidius stands and climbs his feet and walks forward and says, "My friend from Rome, tell me, good messenger, what news has Rome for us? Can we expect a legion? Perhaps two? You must know that we are a strong and resilient people. We will last as long as it's required. But our request for aid does not come lightly. Indeed, we all met. Each of our houses. No, each of our peoples. We met in London, and we agreed. It was time to ask Rome. With that, the messenger looks around at you all. A smile on his face. I've come with a formal message from the Emperor himself. Indeed, this message is in response to the... And then one of the... As he starts to go, one of the... this old guy over here goes, "Get on with it!" And
Nice.
Because
Grumpy old man.
yes, he looks a little nervous, right? Like, especially anyone that looks a little more unkempt and stuff. Says, the Emperor says, our hands are tied. You must look inward for your defenses. There's kind of a bunch of, like, the room erupts into a whole bunch of comments. One of the people says, "Inward? In what part exactly?" And one of them says, "And who's going to look after this land then? What armies are we to expect? Our own tribal people?" One of the tribesmen says, "Very well, then we'll return to the mountains and we'll look after them ourselves. We'll keep out the Picts and the Irish and the Frisians and whoever else comes this way." But the room is effectively just turned into mass chaos if people start to panic. Ovidius goes, "What? No, that can't be right. No aid from Rome? Not even a legion?" And the messenger laughs. "I'm afraid not, friend. No legion can be spared with the troubles with our own barbarians at our doorstep." In clear, like, the most opposite thing to a leader you might see, he just kind of sits down on the floor and buries his head in his hands. And some of the Roman people just start to get up and like run. Like, this your intrigue test, I think, and you can add your geniality, both of you, to this. Paul, you can add a plus. Correction, Paul, you have a high battle, yes?
Yep.
You can choose battle or intrigue. If you choose intrigue, you can apply your geniality. If you choose battle, you cannot.
How much geniality? What are we applying, Bob?
You should. Can you see the coins next to your face on the sheet?
Oh, no, hold on. Just because my character sheet's in the way.
6 then. For
6.
you. 2 for Paul.
Okay. Intrigue.
Should be 3 for you, Paul, actually.
Okay.
Fuck. That's a big fat failure. That's what that is.
Well, it's close.
Okay.
Very close.
I think what
Again.
you know in this case, Flint, is whatever's happening here, it's chaotic, and this isn't good for anybody. Like, whether it's an overreaction or reaction, this is really bad. For you, Paul, this is the equivalent of anarchy. Rome saying look inward means that it's kind of the first time in history they're acknowledging no formal ownership of these lands.
Yeah, it's like the first time they've really kind of stepped off.
Mm-hmm. Which means that it's open season. There's a number of shouts and cries. A couple people start fighting in here, and the Roman guards kind of move to pull Ovidius from the ground, and they start to pull the lead family like out the back. What are the two you want to do?
they've started to pull the lead family out the back.
Mhm.
I wouldn't mind keeping some distance, but following, or at least like checking it out. I think there's.
I'm gonna stay here.
Okay. I think if you're gonna go, Flint, your best bet would be to like go in accompaniment, because otherwise you're in pursuit
yeah.
of, right?
Yeah,
Because you
yeah,
were welcomed at that table, you could potentially try to. Well, give me another intrigue test. Add your geniality.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and like blend in, I guess, for the
Well, you
lack of a
you
better.
could simply like take
Just
Hannah's
go with
hand.
them.
Yeah.
Done.
Okay. All right. Now you go. All right. I think that is this erupts into chaos. We have we have all three of our folks separated. We have Corin off in some bedroom somewhere.
Receiving an education in Roman culture.
Indeed. Or soon to be lack thereof. Kian, you're staying behind and watching the chaos ensue. And
Yep.
Gwen is leaving with the House of Avidius. All right. And with that, we do a to be continued for next session.
Sweet.
Cool.
Cool.
Loving it, man. Loving it.
All right, guys. And the system, those are a bad call on the cards. The cards get like way more fun too, by the way.
Yeah,
so-
I remember you saying that, Bob, before. Like,
Yeah.
and I was like kind of excited about that. Like, I was like, this is
There's still a
gonna be
pass
great.
fail feature, but because they're so random, and then like as you get up in glory, you can choose between multiples. Like you can have upward of like 3 or 4 cards that you can choose from as you get to be like more of a well-known or famous person. So
Yeah.
but even the other features, once you get your head around them, are like pretty fun. So yeah, feasts will be like one of the feasts, battles, raids, like quests. They'll be like the focus of the game.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
This
That's
platform lends itself well to the game too. It's just it's nice to have the visual, and
Right?
I like how it all flows in together.
For sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
me too.
fun.
I like honestly the whole process, the way the game plays out and stuff is really cool.
All right. Well, with that, was this episode our third episode? It was, wasn't it?
Third episode, yeah.
This is 3.
All right. So we should be able to conclude the rest of the first year with the next episode. So
Character creation next week.
yep, on to
And
the next
wait,
game. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Time to play Shadowrun next. So,
Shadowrun. I would do that. I would play almost anything.
Exactly.
yeah. I know.
I'm good. That's awesome.
We'll continue with this for a time. But
All right.
yeah. All right. I'll catch you guys later. Take care.
Bye, guys.
Do we need to